Good morning. It's the Monday morning happy dance. Okay, good morning, everybody. We are going to do a stretch class today. So are you ready? Do you have your mat? And what else do you need? Not much else. Anyway, so let's get started. Stretch class. So let's start with just some big shoulder rolls. This always feels good. Nice and big. Yeah, feel your shoulder blades go up, back, and down. Not just your shoulders, but your shoulder blades. Getting them moving a little bit here. Good. And let's do one more. And then let's do some back stroking. Nice and slow. And usually somewhere around here, it gets a little sticky. So feel free to go a little slower and just holding it so you feel that stretch. Yes, there we go. Good. Keep going. Let's do a few more. Let's go 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. And let's bring those hands behind, interlace those fingers. And if your fingers don't touch, you can always just take the hands in the small of your back and just roll, regardless which version you take, roll your shoulder blades back and down and gently pull the arms away or just open up your chest. So oftentimes, because of our posture, we tend to get narrow through the chest. So this is a really good one to do if you spend a lot of time sitting in front of a computer. All right. And if you're watching this on replay, please type in replay for me. And if you're watching it live, let's see. Good morning. I can't see who it is. So if you can just type your name, that would be great because I'm streaming in from another app here. And therefore, I can't see the names. Good. And gently release, roll, just shake out those shoulders a little bit, getting some blood flow back in there. Let's do that one more time. Interlace those fingers, shoulders back and down, and gently pull the arms away or having the hands in the small of your back. Hey, Marja, how are you? Good. Nice wide chest. Good stuff. And gently release. Okay, so we're going to come down onto the mat. And we're actually going to be in a kind of a kneeling position. So I'm not sure if you can see my toes, but my toes are tucked under, okay? So what I found over the years is that we tend to sort of get a little tight around the toes. So just kind of like bending your toes back, getting that flexion. So as you sit back, there's going to be more weight sitting on your toes. So if this is too much, you could have your hands on the mat and just slowly sit your bum back and just managing the weight that you put on your toes. Yeah, you feel that? I've noticed over the years that they're getting a little stiffer. I hope am I the only one? And then gently release. Just bring the tops of your feet flat on your feet and sit back for a moment. So now you're stretching the front of your legs here. Okay, and then we're going to come back onto your hands, tucking your toes under and sitting back. So we're getting a little bit of break in between each of these stretches. Yeah, good. And try to breathe. Keep your shoulders down away from those ears so your toes are tucked under. Take the next inhale, exhale, lean forward. Let's take the tops of your feet back on the floor and sit up. Okay, so if this is uncomfortable, you can just kind of be here, but you want to stretch out the front of the legs here to start. All right, take the next inhale, exhale, come back onto your knees and the tops of your feet are resting on the floor. So we are here. We're going to stretch out the front of the thighs and through the hip flexors. So take your knees a little bit wider, and I'm going to show it to you sideways. And you're going to do almost, instead of being the chest stretch, you're going to press your hips forward. I don't know if you can see. So taking the hands in the small of your back, inhale, exhale, shoulders back and down. And press your hips forward so you feel that stretch through the hip flexors. So make sure you're not back bending. All you're doing is just pushing your hips forward here and giving those glutes a nice big squeeze. So you feel those hip flexors and your quadriceps, your front of your legs stretching. Good. Inhale, release. Sit all the way back at your heels. Let's bring your toes together, knees nice and wide. And dropping your forehead down towards the mat. So you want to think about elongating your spine and elongating your arms by slowly walking your fingertips towards the top edge of your mat and keeping your forehead down onto the floor. So elongating the spine and the arms. And while we're here, let's take a nice big deep breath in. And a big exhale. Another deep breath in. And a big exhale. Hopefully you can still hear me. Take your right hand and walk it over towards your left hand. And now you should feel a stretch on your right side. And take a nice big deep breath in here. And a big exhale. And one more time, deep breath in. And a big exhale. Walk your right hand back to where it was. Take your left hand to your right hand. Now you're going to stretch out the left side part of your body. Take a nice big inhale. And a big exhale. One more deep breath in. And a big exhale. Good. Take your left hand back to where it was. Both hands on the floor. Come back up into tabletop. Knees back into a little bit wider than the legs. Back into this kneeling position. Hands behind your hips. Press your hips forward. Squeeze those glutes. And I want you to feel that stretch to the hip flexors and through the front of the legs. One more time. Good. And release. All right, let's do a little bit more hip flexor. If this is bothering your knees because of the pressure, you can always double up on your mat. Just fold it over and place your knee down. Okay? So let's take your left foot forward, right foot back. So you're in this lunge position. The idea with this stretch here, more the hip flexor, is that we're aiming for 90-degree angles is really what we're looking for. You're going to tuck that back toe under, tuck your bum under, and then press your hips forward. So you can see that my spine is still upright. I'm not lunging so far forward that I've got a back bend. You want to tuck that tail under as much as possible and then press that hip forward. So you're stretching on the right hip flexor. Just want to say who else is here. Screen. Okay. All right. So we are here, tucking that tail. Feel that hip flexor stretch. So that's kind of like, I'm kind of working you from something a little bit more gentler to something a little bit more intense through the hips, because we tend to be very tight through the hip flexor, most of us. Okay. And if it feels good to you, you can pump your hips forward. So you want to squeeze that right butt cheek and just pump your hip forward, pump and exhale and exhale and exhale. Keep going. And you got 10, 9, 8, 7, good. 6, keep that right butt cheek squeeze. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Release. All right, let's switch sides. Take your left foot back, right leg forward. Tuck that back toe under. You're looking for a 9. You should look like a chair, right? Tuck the tail under, squeeze that left butt cheek, and press your hip forward. Yeah, so you should feel that nice stretch to the left hip flexor. Yeah, keep your shoulders back and down. Stay nice and tall with your spine. Try not to lean forward. Nice and tall. Yeah, hold it here. So you should be getting a little toe bend back there as well. Okay, a little flexion with the toes. Okay, take the next inhale. We're going to pump your hip forward. If it doesn't feel good, don't do it. And pump the hip forward and stretch out those hip flexors. Keep it small. Keep that left glute squeeze. You got 10, 9, 8, 7, good. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good stuff. Okay, let's come down into seated position. We're going to do a little bit more of the hip stretch, sitting with your legs crossed. So if this is a hard position to get to, you can always grab a couple of pillows or blocks and just rest them underneath your knee. Well, you'll need 2 of them here, okay? All right, so this is option number 1. Option number 2 would be a half lotus, so taking one leg and sitting it on top of the other leg, okay? That's option 2. Option 3 would be to stack your knees. Not always the easiest. There we go. The idea, regardless of which position you take, you want both sit bones on the floor. It doesn't have to be perfectly stacked as long as your sit bones on the floor. So whichever version you take, sit up nice and tall. Take the next inhale, hands on your side, and slowly walk your hands forward and letting your chest drop towards your thigh. Keeping those shoulders down away from those ears. Sit bones are still on the floor, on your mat. So you should feel this. So my left leg is over my right. So I'm feeling it on my left hip. Left hip. which for me is really tight these days. I don't know about you. Good. Yeah, give yourself a little wiggle from side to side, just a gentle wiggle, only if it feels comfortable for you. So when you stretch, it's always important to just have a nice gentle pull, just so you can still breathe. If you're holding your breath, it's too intense. Good, and slowly walk yourself back up. Take your hands behind you, untangle those legs, give it a little shake. Good. All right, now let's do the other side. Same option, sitting with your legs crossed, half lotus, okay, with your one foot on top, or sitting with your knees stacked. Regardless of which version you take, it's important to try to have both sit bones on the floor. Good, grow nice and tall in your spine, hands down on the mat. Take the next inhale, exhale, folding forward. Let's see what this side feels like. Does it feel tighter? Oh yeah, maybe. How about you? There we go. Good. Make sure you're still able to breathe. If you're not, just come up a little higher. Okay. If you feel like you could use a little bit more of a stretch, lean forward even further. Yeah. So if you're watching this, don't forget, we've got the Love Your Body Week that's happening in January, which is the 5-day cleanse. And I've added a Love Your Body Forever workshop. So it's going to be a 6-day event. And hang on a second here. And the early bird pricing is only available to the end of the year, that's December 31st. So I think today's the 20th, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, December 20th. So we've got like 11 more days to catch the early bird pricing. So that's the Love Your Body Week. So we're going to do a 5-day cleanse, which is what we did last April, and release those legs and give it a little shake. So if you happen to have come on to that last April, and it was fantastic, which it was, be sure to join us. Okay. So now what we're going to do is grow tall. I'm going to show it to you some because I feel like I'm cut off on the screen here. All right. Grow tall in your spine. Bring your toes to your nose. Grow tall and slowly you can take your hands underneath your thighs. I can't do too much of this because I've got 2 pulled hamstrings here that I'm working with. So what you want to do is walk your hands down the back of your leg, and you want to reach your chest forward. So what people tend to do is fold down. I want you to reach forward instead of folding downward. So you get a stretch through the hamstrings. Like I said, I don't have much range here because I pulled both my hamstrings playing tennis about 2 months ago, and I'm going to see physio today. Yay! Good. Bring your toes. If you can reach your toes, you can. Okay. Grow tall in your spine and reach your chest forward. So you get that stretch all the way through the back of the legs. Good. Inhale, exhale, come forward. Bring your hands behind and give those legs a little shake. Okay. So next thing we're going to do is I'm going to stretch the front of the legs here. And I'll give you, let's do this option because it's a little gentler, okay? So you're actually going to want to be lying down on your side and make sure you're nice and comfortable. Bend the bottom leg so you feel supported. You're going to grab onto your shoelaces if you were having shoes, and then I want you to roll your hip forward and bring your heel towards your bum, okay? So this is a little more gentler than the sitting version. This is a little easier on your knees because they're in alignment. Okay, the seated one is a little harder on your knees for sure. Okay, so you should feel that nice stretch in the front of the legs. Yes? Good stuff. Good. Press your hip forward. So again, you're getting a little bit of a hip flexor stretch along with a quad stretch here, and then gently release. And just give your legs a little bit of a shake. And we're going to do that one more time. Grab onto your laces. Take the next inhale, exhale, press your hip forward, and bring your heel towards your bum. Good. Nice little stretch for the front of the legs. And slowly release. Good. Let's flip ourselves over and let's try the other side. All right, lying on your side. Bend that bottom leg so you feel supported. Grab onto the laces of your top leg. Take the next inhale, exhale. Press your hip forward and get that nice stretch through the front of your thighs. Okay, if you can't reach your leg, you can always use straps. Always can come in handy. Or a belt if you don't have yoga straps. Doesn't always have to be the exact equipment. A leather belt works well. Good. Take the next inhale, exhale, release that leg. Give it a little stretch here, little shake. And then we're going to do that one more time. Grab onto those laces. Take the next inhale, exhale. Press your hip forward and then heel towards your bum. And the reason why we press your hip forward is so this way your spine comes into neutral position. Okay, it doesn't mean you arch your back. You maintain neutral. Okay, neutral spine is very important in everything when it comes to exercise and, well, just movement in general. And then release. Good. Let's lie on our backs. Okay. Let's take a breath. Bring one leg up in the tabletop. Bring the other leg up in the tabletop. And you can just let your heels drop. All right. You can take your hands on the, let's take it on the outside here. And just let your legs fall open. And the reason why we have our legs on the outside is just so you feel support. And right now my elbows are sitting on the floor and my hands are on the outside of my thighs. Now, if this feels good and you don't want to go any further, stay here. Otherwise, take your hands on the inside of your thigh and just adding a little bit of pressure so you're stretching those inner thighs here. Okay, so that's option 2. Option 3 is to straighten out those legs, lengthening the levers so you get more of a stretch to those inner thighs here. And then the fourth option is to add pressure on those inner thighs. So there's lots of options here you can take. Feel free to choose one of them that works best for you. Take the next inhale, exhale, bring your hands to the outside, bring those legs to a close. Drop that left foot to the floor, take the right leg, cross it over into a figure 4. Take the next inhale, exhale, bring that left knee in towards your chest. And keep those shoulders down away from those ears. So we're in this figure 4 stretch. What tends to happen is one hip kind of rides up. So in other words, right now, my right waist is very short in comparison to my left waist. So what you want to do here is push your right hip down. So you want to try to get those hip bones level. So one's not higher than the other. That's the idea here. So you feel that stretch through the piriformis, through the glutes, through the hips. Good, and breathing through. Next option from here is to flex that right foot. That can intensify the stretch a little. The next option from here is to bring that left knee a little closer towards your chest. So remember, make sure you're still able to breathe comfortably. Right, Marcia? All right, gently release that leg. Drop that leg all the way down to the floor. Take the right leg, cross it over to the left side into a, what's this called? Spinal twist, spinal twist. Do your favorite one. There's all kinds of different options here. Do one that's most enjoyable for you. The key to a spinal twist is to have both shoulders on the floor, okay? So if your right shoulder is way up here, you might need to take a different option or try not to over twist the bottom half, okay? Relax your bottom hip. Then take a nice big inhale and a big exhale. Yeah, and gently release. Come back to center. Let's take that right foot on the floor. Take the left leg, cross it over into that figure 4. Take the next inhale, exhale. Bring that bottom leg in towards your chest. Yeah, relax your left hip. Push your left hip down a little bit so you feel your waist is long on both sides. Good. Remember the next option? Flexing your right foot. The next option from there is to bring that bottom leg, your right knee, in a little closer towards your chest. Yeah, make sure you're still able to breathe. Stretch out those hips. Draw those shoulders down away from those ears. Take a deep breath in. As you exhale, drop that right leg all the way down to the floor. Take your left leg, cross it over the body into a spinal twist on the other side. And in terms of where your eyes go, you can have this pointing straight up towards the ceiling, or you can take your eyes over towards your left fingers, and that gets you into a full spinal twist. Good. Relax your bottom hip. Take a nice big inhale and a big exhale. And a big inhale and a big exhale. Take another inhale, exhale, come back to center. Drop that left foot on the floor, bring that right foot to come along with it. So your feet are underneath your knees and your arms at your side. So your feet are about hip width apart. Take the next inhale, exhale, lift your hips up. You're coming into a glute bridge. Take your hands underneath, interlace those fingers, and try to walk your knuckles towards your heels. So in other words, you're drawing your shoulders down away from your ears. Holding it here. You get a nice little chest. If you can't have your fingers interlaced, you can just try to get your thumbs as close together or grabbing onto your fingertips is an option. Okay, just make sure you're not arching your back. We're in neutral spine here. Keep that chest open. See if you can get your hands down a little bit closer towards your heels. Keeping that belly tucked in. Take the next inhale, exhale, release those hands. Drop your hips down onto the mat. Hug your right knee into your chest. Hug your left knee into your chest. Yeah, and give yourself a little rock from side to side. Yes. Yep. And I get a nice little massage across your low back through your hips. There you go. Good. Couple more rocks. Let's go 4, 3, 2, and back to center. Drop that left leg all the way down towards the floor. Just give your right knee a big hug into your ribs and then out towards your armpits. And hold it there. Good. Breathing through. Take the next inhale, exhale, gently release that leg all the way to the floor. Let's try the other one. Give your knee a big hug into your ribs and then out towards your armpit. If that's not available to you, that's okay. Make sure you're breathing through. Yeah. Take the next inhale, exhale, back to center, and drop that leg all the way down. Let's take your arms up, reach over your shoulders, and point your toes, interlace those fingers, and try to reach. You can wiggle from side to side. Try to elongate your entire body. So think of making yourself look and feel like a torpedo. Yeah, lengthen. And then breathe as you feel a nice stretch across your ribs. Big inhale and a big exhale. One more time, big inhale and a big exhale. Good, bring those arms and sweep them down towards your side. Bring your left foot on the floor, your right foot on the floor. And all we're gonna do is drop your knees over to one side. So you're just windshield wipering your legs. From side to side and get your arms out of the way if that feels good. Loosening up the hips. Getting a little bit of a low back spinal twist here. That's it. Good. Keep going. Okay, so be mindful of where your feet are. Mine are almost the width of your mat. So let's see if we can go a little wider. See what that feels like. So you can play around with the different widths of your feet. Yeah, if you feel like going a little wider, go for it. See what that feels like. Otherwise, take your feet in a little closer and see what that feels like. Good. This is a really good exercise here if you have some low back issues. Okay? Helps to loosen it up, helps to put spaces back in the vertebrae. Good. And then let's bring your feet all the way together. Side by side. Good. So we're doing a little bit of mobility with our stretch, and that's okay. Because you know what? Our spine gets stiff as the day wears on, and our spine gets stiff as we get O-L-D-E-R, back to center. All right, let's bring your feet a little bit wider apart. We're gonna do the same thing up top. So let's bring your hands up. So you want your hands together and your arms across your chest. So it should feel like you're squeezing your boobs together, okay? If your arms are at your shoulders, no good, okay? I want it across your chest. And the reason being is this is where we tend to get a little stiffer, and people are so focused on moving versus, moving in the right places, okay? So all you're gonna do is keeping your hands together and your elbows straight at all times, that is, and you're just gonna roll your arms over to one side and then roll to the other side. So basically what we did with our legs, we're doing it with our arms. So keep your arms across your chest, keep your elbows straight, both of them, and don't let your hands slide. No. Don't let, there we go. So what we're doing here is we're getting your upper spine to move. And this is where we get stiff. This is what I see. Because when I teach classes or train clients, I've trained 20-year-olds, 30-year-olds, 40-year-olds, 50-year-olds, 60-year-olds, 70-year-olds. Have I ever trained an 80-year-old? No. 72 is my oldest client. Yeah, keep going side to side. All right, do you feel like you're getting more range? Keeping those elbows straight. Oh yeah, as I was saying, this is where we get stiff the first in terms of our spine, is in this upper back area across your shoulder blades. Yeah, let's rock back a few more times. You can add a breath if you like. Keep your arms across your chest. Make sure it does not slide up towards your shoulders. Let's go 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Bring your arms down towards your side. Let's do some snow angels. So just the top half of your snow angels. Sweep those arms up over your head, and then sweep those arms up down towards your side. Up over your head and down towards your side. Okay? If this is bothering your shoulders, stop before you feel that pain or that discomfort. A couple more. Let's go 3, 2, and one more, and 1. Good. Bring your arms to your side with your palms facing in. Need to pull up my pants here. Palms facing in. You're going to sweep those arms up over your head. Sweep those arms down to your side. Inhale up, exhale down. Good. So if you have lots of shoulder problems, okay, tightness, stiffness, pain, this is also good as long as you stay out of that discomfort zone. And one more, and let's finish at the top here. Bring your hands back together, keeping those elbows straight across your chest, hands together, don't let it slide, and sweep your arms back from side to side. See if you notice anything different here. Yeah, I'm getting a little more range. I tend to be stiffer on one side versus the other side. You might notice the same, maybe not. Let's do a few more. Let's go 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring those hands apart, arms down at your side. Bring one leg up, bring the other leg up in the tabletop. Take your hands behind your knee. Okay, we're gonna rock up and down. If this is not comfortable for you, just sit up for me, okay? Otherwise, we're here. Rock yourself up, rock yourself down. So you're getting a nice little massage down your spine. Oh, this feels good. Unless you get dizzy. For some of us, that can happen. Let's go 3. Here's 2. And one more. And 1. There you go. There is your stretch class for the day. Hope you enjoyed yourself. And if you're watching this on replay, make sure you type in replay for me. All right, have yourself a great week. Bye.